What's up, sports fans? Welcome to T's Corner. I'm your host, T Word. Thank you for choosing into this video episode of the T's Corner podcast. You'll also be able to pick this up on SoundCloud. It's available for downloads, but we're going to do this segment on YouTube, and it'll be also available on Facebook. Thank y'all for tuning in and rocking with your boy. I appreciate the support of the channel. And while we're talking about support, I want to go ahead and ask you all to support the channel by bringing in some donations so we can improve the video quality and also the audio quality when we do interviews and things of that nature. No amount is too small, so we would appreciate any assistance and support from those out there who support the channel. Also, if you're a business owner, you're looking to expand your reach. You know, I reach over 10,000 people per show pretty much on the different social media platforms and web platforms that I have, and we're expanding to a new and improved website for T's Corner as well. So if you're looking to expand your business and reach more people, contact me about doing a sponsorship. We have packages as low as $15, and you'll get a lot of exposure each month, so your buck will go a much longer way than some of the traditional advertisements that you may have seen. Now we're gonna jump right in with the T's Corner podcast. We'll talk about the full NFL slate. I'm gonna do a quick version of Pick'em and just pick a winner of each game. I even got final scores for everybody, and then we'll also go ahead and do 3 key matchups and also the final score of the New Orleans Saints and Denver Broncos game, which I've got a personal interest in, obviously, because the Saints are my team. So let's get started. Week 10 with the noon kickoffs. We've got the Broncos at the Saints. We'll save that prediction for later in the show. The next game up is going to be the Falcons visiting the Eagles in Philly. I think the Eagles are going to be able to hold the Falcons' ground game in check, but Matt Ryan is still going to have a big day, but I can see Julio being a handcuff. So I'm going to go ahead and pick the Eagles 28-24 at home. So they'll just slightly exceed home field advantage. The next team up is going to be the Kansas City Chiefs and Carolina Panthers. And the Chiefs are efficient. They run the ball pretty well when their backs are healthy, and Jamal Charles is rounding into season form. And then Alex Smith is the check down king, so he's able to get in there and just dink and dunk teams and move the chains and keep things going. So I can see Alex Smith leading his team to a victory. And I just think that Cam Newton's not going to have a good game. So I've got the Chiefs winning on the road 21-17. All right, so next game up is going to be the Los Angeles Rams visiting the New York Jets. So they're heading back over to the Eastern time zone, and both these teams are struggling. So it's kind of hard to pick when you know that both teams are going to have a rough day. Todd questionable, so that takes a really big chunk out of what the Rams can do on offense. So I'm expecting them to have a relatively rough day. Now, what might bolster them is the insertion of first-round pick Jared Goff into the lineup. I think at this point the season's not a loss, but it's definitely time to figure out what he has and put him in real action and let him get his bumps out of the way. The pressure's off now. It's not as if they started him week 1 to where everybody's expecting him to carry the team to the playoffs. The team and the fans are kind of looking like the playoffs are probably a little bit out of reach for them because they're sitting at 3-5. So the pressure's off for him to carry them. And if he does well and they win enough of the next 8 games, if he gets them in the playoffs, great. If he doesn't, then it's like, hey, he got a lot of valuable experience. But with that being said, Bryce Petty is expected to start for the Jets. And I think they're in that mindset that I just gave. It's time to look forward to the future. Ryan Fitzpatrick is banged up. Let's see what this guy has and what he can do for our team. He might be that spark we need. So I'm going to go ahead and pick the Jets 13-10. The only caveat I give is if Jared Goff starts today, I think the Rams might do something big, whether they have Todd Gurley or not, because Kenny Britt is coming on strong. Now the next noon game is going to be the Green Bay Packers visiting the Tennessee Titans, and Aaron Rodgers is still struggling. I don't know when that's going to break, and the Titans' run game is solid. Derrick Henry is not expected to play, but DeMarco Murray has been on the tear this year. I mean, he's putting up some really solid performances because he can catch the ball out of the backfield, and he runs really well. So he's dual threat from the backfield. You can't get better than that, and he's a big guy. Marcus Mariota's having a good season, and I think he's going to outshine Aaron Rodgers today. And I'm going to give the Titans three points at home, 27-24 with the win. The next game up is going to be the Minnesota Vikings visiting the Washington Redskins, and the Vikings have really just become a team without an identity. I don't know what happened. I know that North Turner bailed out at the right time, I guess you could say. I think there's something much deeper than that, but he got out of there before things got really bad. So there's something under the surface that's causing this team to implode, and I just don't know what. The Redskins are trying to get better. They're trying to remain competitive in the East, and everybody in the East is chasing the Cowboys. So every single game, especially in the conference, is important, because if you don't win that division, you at least want to have enough conference wins to get your team into the playoffs. So I'm going to go ahead and pick the Skins in this one. Kirk Cousins has a big day, 31-17. Next game up is going to be the Houston Texans and the Jacksonville Jaguars. I've got the Jags offense moving the ball really well between the 20s and bogging down in the red zone, and they just won't be able to score early. So Houston's going to get out in front. A major thing for the Jags is going to be their turnover issues. The turnovers really stall out a lot for them, and I can see a couple turnovers in the red zone that they'll take 3 points off the board, where you go from guaranteed 3 for a field goal to now the Texans are heading the other way. So I'm going to give them the win in this one, 24-7. Everybody knows I'm also a Texans fan because they're in the ALTs, a fan since they came into existence. So I like to see them do well, and I'm predicting a big day for DeAndre Hopkins. Next game up, Chicago Bears visit the Tampa Bay Buccaneers in Florida. Jay Cutler's back, and the Bears looked pretty good on Monday night. They didn't look great. It was against Minnesota, who's having problems. So I don't know what to expect exactly from them today, but I think the Buccaneers and Jameis Winston are just going to be too much, and they'll hold on at home and win this game 17-14. You notice I'm giving the home team their 3 points in most of these games, because with matchups of the nature of the ones for today, they're close enough to call in that way. Let's see. First game coming up at 3:05 is going to be the Miami Dolphins against the San Diego Chargers. And Jay Ajayi is, man, that dude he's a good running back, no doubt. I mean, he runs the ball hard. He's patient with it as well, so he's aggressive with patience. So he's kind of got that DeMarco Murray field vision, and it just took him getting the backfield to himself. Arian Foster getting out of the way really opened the door for this guy to be who he is. So I'm really impressed by that. So he's going to run wild on the Chargers defense. But Phillip Rivers and Melvin Gordon are probably going to just be way too much for the Miami defense. So I'm taking the Chargers at home, 31-28. All right, so at 3:25, we've got 2 games kicking off. We have the 49ers at the Arizona Cardinals, and the 49ers are bad, like, no doubt. They're bad. We saw that when they played the Saints. I didn't realize just how far they'd fallen defensively and offensively. But the Cardinals are injured, and they've just been having subpar play all season. So David Johnson's going to have a big game against that San Francisco defense, because Mark Ingram went off. So I can imagine David Johnson is just a way more patient, way more explosive runner. So he'll go off, but I don't think he'll score much. So I've got the Niners winning this game 14-7. Now, here's a throwback classic battle. Before my time, actually. Steelers and Cowboys. We got the Cowboys going up to PA to play the Steelers. And this is my dad's classic. I just think that Dak Prescott is going to be efficient. And he's just going to be hard for the Steelers defensive style. He's just going to dak and dunk, as they say on TV. And just eat him up short. Cole Beasley will probably have 7 to 10 catches for over 100 yards. Zeke is going to eat today. Ezekiel Elliott to have a big game. And I just see this being a shootout, though, because the Cowboys defense, while they've been serviceable this year, they have quite a few holes as well. So I'm expecting Big Ben and Antonio Brown and Le'Veon Bell to eat as well. But I'm going to take the Cowboys 35-31 in the shootout. Now, the primetime matchup, I'm looking forward to this game. I don't know how much I'll watch, because there's just other things I like to enjoy on Sunday evenings, including time with my family. But I will be keeping track of this game because I got quite a few Patriots in my fantasy football team. You got the Seahawks heading up to Foxborough to play the Patriots. Tom Brady's going to be unstoppable, and Russell Wilson's going to struggle. Period, point blank. And he's going to get very little help from his defense today against Brady and Gronk and Edelman. And LeGarrette Blount is just going to badger that front seven of Seattle, who's missing Michael Bennett. So that's going to be a 28-17 win for the Pats. Let's see, Monday Night Football. Whew. Cincinnati Bengals and the New York Giants. I'm probably going to go ahead and take the Bengals in this one, but it's going to be close, and here's why. AJ Green is unstoppable. Odell Beckham is unstoppable. Cincinnati is a better team overall, and their defense is stronger. So they're going to lock up in the second half. It'll be a really strong defensive battle. And I've got the Bengals winning on a late field goal, 17-14, at some point in the fourth quarter to put it away, and neither team will be able to do much other than that. So now we're down for our key matchup for the Broncos and Saints game today. Actually, I'm going to give you 3 key matchups. So my first matchup I'm going to highlight is the Saints offensive line against the Broncos defensive line. This one's going to be good because Von Miller's there, but Derek Wolfe is going to be out. So you've got the linebackers and the defensive line facing sometimes a patchwork Saints line, and one of the members of that line is Andrews Pete, because Teron Armstead is listed as questionable for today, and he's been in and out of the lineup the last couple of weeks, so that's been a struggle in itself. So as long as Pete can stay in and nobody gets hurt at any other interior positions, and he can stay at tackle and Tony Hills doesn't have to come in, I think they'll be able to hold the line. As long as they give help, which Josh Hill is back and he blocks fairly well, they need to chip Von Miller every play. Send a running back over there, give Breeze the time, and frustrate Miller. Make him work his butt off. So by the fourth quarter, he's too tired to be dominant like he can be. So that's going to be a key matchup. Another key matchup is going to be the Saints wide receivers against the Broncos DBs. Another group that's going to be missing a key player, which is Aqib Talib. He would have been matching up with who I think would be Michael Thomas, just because Talib is not really that fast. So a better matchup for him is put him on a more physical receiver, which is Mike Thomas. With him being out, Mike Thomas is going to have free range against probably Bradley Roby. And while Bradley Roby is in his second year and Thomas is a rookie, Thomas is far more polished as a receiver than Roby is as a corner. So you're going to see something I consider a great dynamic, which is Mike Thomas taking him to school. He's just going to have a good day against Roby. The other side might be a little bit tougher with Chris Harris Jr. against Brandon Cooks. Harris might get the better of that matchup. I'm not banking on it, but I think it's possible. And then my third matchup is going to be Trevor Siemian against the Saints defense. The defense just got back Delvin Breaux, and they also got back Sheldon Rankins, who's a 2016 first-round pick. Rankins is expected to be the type of guy to push the pocket and help with run support, and the Saints' run defense has gotten better. So if you're taking away that element from Denver and you're making Siemian beat you with the pass, as long as you don't allow him to score, he can have 500 yards passing. Just keep him out the end zone. So those are my key matchups. Now, a little bit of fantasy advice for those people who are carrying Saints players on their roster. Here's who you should start. You should start Drew Brees, Tim Hightower, Mark Ingram, Mike Thomas, and Willie Snead. Now, who you should probably sit, Brandon Cooks and Kobe Fleener, because they don't have favorable matchups. The other players that I named to start, Breeze is going to throw for a lot of yards because he just spreads the ball so well, and he's at home and he typically throws for about 300, oftentimes 3 TDs. So he should be able to score without problem. Tim Hightower runs hard. Mark Ingram is a nice compliment to him. So those two together should get the Saints over 100 yards rushing for the third week in a row. Mike Thomas is a yak machine. When he catches the ball, you've seen him slap DBs off like he swats flies. So you can see that he's going to give you something extra after he catches the ball, which is what you need to be productive. And Willie Snead's going to be in the slot. I don't think Denver has good underneath corners who can stop it, and the linebackers are going to be busy trying to shut down Fleener, which I think will happen. So it's going to allow Willie Snead to eat. So he'll get you 5 or 6 catches, probably over 70 yards today, and maybe even a TD. Brandon Cooks is going to have a tougher day, as I mentioned earlier, against Chris Harris, because I think Harris is such a good corner. He can lock him up. And Cooks is not a physical guy, and I don't see him just running by Harris consistently. So he might have 1 or 2 decent catches, but I can see him having a day of like 4 catches for 40 yards, but he's kept out of the end zone. So that might be a little bit frustrating for fantasy owners of Brandon Cooks. Kobe Fleener, he's not going to get to the tough catches. He's not productive when he has an unfavorable matchup. He doesn't have that Jimmy Graham effect where you can throw it up to him in double coverage and expect his big frame to win for him. So I just see him not having a great day. Maybe 2 catches, 15, 16 yards, something like that. So the moment Saints fans have been waiting for it. My prediction for today. All right. This is going to surprise everybody but Saints fans, especially my dad. So I hope you watch, Pops. By the way, happy Veterans Day again, Dad. I appreciate you. Salute. For the Saints, I have 35-14 in the Super Dome. Saints win. They completely dominate Denver today. Von Miller may have 2 sacks, but that'll be the highlight of the day for that Denver defense. The New Orleans defense will produce a couple of turnovers, and they'll have a very productive day on offense to the tune of 35 points. Expect 3 passing TDs and 350 plus yards from Breeze today. He's going to be in rare form in the Dome, and the Saints will get to over 500 to 5-4 with this win. So that's going to conclude this video episode for today. I appreciate y'all tuning in to my Game Day show. New scheduling change. What we have, we're going to do Tuesdays and Thursdays, so you'll get T's Corner on one of those days and the Quality Talk Show on another, depending on scheduling with myself and my co-host Quentin Dame Lilly. But definitely my Game Day prediction post is going to be a vlog, and it's going to be Sundays for sure, so you guys can get up early and check out some Saints news. Typically we're going to get this up onto YouTube and Facebook about an hour before kickoff, so 11 o'clock at the latest. One thing I'm going to ask of you is go ahead and hit that like button down there, somewhere down in this area, if y'all can see that. Go ahead and hit that like button, and let me know that you're watching. Let me know that you're supporting the channel. Again, if you're looking to become a sponsor, we do have a reach of over 10,000 per episode. So if you want to get in on that and get your brand out to more people, we have packages starting at $15. Or if you're just a fan of the show and you want to donate, no amount is too small. I mean, if it's $1, if it's 50 cents, whatever. We're looking to upgrade the equipment. We want to go ahead and get a set. Do a lot of things to bring a better product and better content to you. So your support is requested and needed for this channel to grow. I give fantasy advice on what's called a RotoGap app for all Apple users. If you got iTunes or the App Store, RotoGap is an app where you can get fantasy advice daily for a $1 subscription. You can jump on there. You can follow me. If you're a Saints fan, I give advice 3 to 4 times a week, 3 to 4 minutes at a time. So you'll be able to just tune in. I give you injury updates, advice on who to start, who to sit, just something like I did today, except it will be more in depth, even more information about the team, some insider info that you don't get from the T's Corner podcast. So again, follow me there. Check me out on Twitter. It's going to be THEUSC_TEE. That's the USC_T. And again, there's T's Corner on Facebook, which you may be watching this video right now on. Go ahead and hit that like button if you haven't already. Share with your friends. And again, we really appreciate all the support that we get. So everything will be linked in the description below. Be sure to check all that information out. We'll be bringing you more content. So thank you for tuning in to T's Corner. We'll see you guys on Tuesday. Love y'all to death.
This for New Orleans.
Peace.
Who that nation? Who that? Who that? We that? We that? Who that? Who that? We that? We that? Who that? Who that? We that? We that? Saints going all the way. Saints going all the way. Kumbaya, that's the Who That Nation. Game on the line, you can bet we take them. Go black and gold, black and gold. Don't stop, boy. We trying to win the Super Bowl. We rock and roll, rock and roll. Touchdown, go Saints. We gonna do it some more. We rock and roll, rock and roll. Touchdown, go Saints. Now give me some more. Now who that? Who that?